Please welcome Blake Lively.
Of all the fruitless soldiers, oh, I see the light and the heat.
Good evening, folks. Sorry, I lost my voice earlier, thanks to all the unbridled pregnancy rage, so stick with me. I meant to tell you that Ryan is the 36th recipient of this incredible honor, but he's the first ever Canadian, which is a huge deal for him and for Canada. And it is. I thank you, Ryan will thank you, and Canada thanks you. But what I really want to do is thank Canada for giving us all this man who has contributed so much to the world's gross international happiness with his art, his heart, his philanthropy, his humor, his integrity, his unmatched work ethic, his self-deprecating levity, his hard-earned depths, and his grace. So many of those stunning qualities come from his homeland, Canada, and giving back to the country that gave him his life is critical to who he is as a person. Can you guys hear me? I feel like I'm a teenage boy going through puberty in front of you all. This is awful. Anyway, when I met Ryan, he would still stop himself mid-sentence and ask me, wait, hold on. Do you guys say almond or almond? It's because he came to LA as a Canadian, and as every actor in this room knows, you're meant to rent all tells of where you're from, especially if it's Canada, but not if you're British. That just makes you cooler and more talented and chic in every way. So to get jobs, you're meant to walk the American walk and talk the American talk. Yet every weekend, in rain, sleet, or snow, he drove his car, motorcycle, or anything with wheels back to Canada. Every weekend. That trek was his church. He would pull over and nap on the side of the road on top of his motorcycle, which is not advisable for long-term back health, FYI. He's always had something in him that has beckoned him home. He had to check into his home base. It was essential to keeping him grounded, to keeping him sane, to keeping him him. And now I am his home, and our girls are his home. And just like that 19-year-old boy, he races home. Whether it's from across the globe or a meeting across the street, he is hardwired to get home. If he came home from set not in his wardrobe, we would be very concerned. Soaked in mud, fake blood, real blood, prosthetic scars, superhero suits, tap shoes, or clown makeup, Daddy always comes home. And that man races back to his real life like nothing I have ever seen. Especially not by someone who's able to be so all in his work life. He's able to somehow be everything to everyone all at once. He is the most present person you will ever meet. And yes, he creates magic in his work, but man, oh man, does he create magic in his real life. And my girlies, they know what I'm talking about, huh, JJ? So really, all of this is to say, if anything defines this man, it's the way that he lives his life to honor and value his home. Whether that be me and our babies, or all of his people in this room and beyond, we all know who we are, or his country, Canada. Home is where his heart is, which is why he gives so much of his heart back to his home. We don't all have time tonight for me to list the things he's done for Canada, the jobs he's created, the organizations he's uplifted, the causes he's led and supported, the hockey teams he's purchased, the restaurants he's boosted, the sick kids he's visited or made countless videos for or done FaceTimes with. But I can promise you, you do not forget the look in those parents' eyes when someone shows up for their kid the way he does, the way he quietly and invisibly does all the time. So that's really all I want to leave you with tonight, not with the specifics of his actions, but instead with the DNA of who he is. And that DNA is distinctly Canadian, spun one magical night in 1976 between the bed sheets of Jim and Tammy Reynolds. I'm looking at you, Tam, you little hussy. Like a proud parent adores its favorite son, I see Canada love this man as it should, so damn well right back. Now, please join us for the Canadian National Anthem. I have no idea. I hope somebody knows the words to this thing. But we're going to sing the Canadian National Anthem, so please join us. I think we stand. I don't know how this works. I leave you all with one final message from someone else who's contributed a thing or two to Canada.
Hello everyone, bonjour à tous. Just wanted to congratulate a good friend of mine and a truly legendary Canadian, Ryan Reynolds. Ryan, congratulations on receiving the American Cinematheque Award. Since 1984, this award has recognized people who've made extraordinary contributions to the art of the moving picture. When you put it like that, I can't think of anyone more deserving. This is a testament to your extraordinary career, Ryan, as an actor, producer, screenwriter, and entrepreneur. But that's not all. You and Blake have done so much to help those in need. From your donation to the Ottawa Food Bank during the first wave of the pandemic, to the support you've offered to refugees fleeing the conflict in Ukraine, your philanthropic efforts are second to none. As you all know, we Canadians love to boast when our artists succeed on the world stage. Quite frankly, throughout your career, Ryan, both on and off the screen, you've given us so much to swagger about. Tu as tant inspiré tant de gens dans le monde entier et ton influence s'étend bien au-delà des films auxquels tu as participé. On va continuer de t'encourager ici au pays et on va toujours être très fiers. Once again, my deepest congratulations, dear friend.
To present the American Cinematheque Award, here is the director-producer who directed Ryan in both Free Guy and The Atom Project and is currently prepping their next collaboration, Deadpool 3. Yep, another Canadian, Sean Levy.
I want to talk about the fact that Ryan's superpowers extend way beyond what we see on screen, what people see on screen. And I see a lot of people who've collaborated with him in this room. And so you know what I'm talking about. This is a 360-degree creative force. Yes, movie star. Yes, great actor. But this is a real goddamn producer. This is a real writer who can write his ass off. And I say this looking at people in this room who have made movies with him, and we know he makes our stuff better. We're grateful because every day, whether it's in prep, rehearsals, some crazy idea that comes up in improv, some bizarre idea that he has in the edit room while sitting on the couch, and he's like, hey, what if we radically restructure the second act? And you're there going, does he have any idea what a huge, radical upheaval that would be? He doesn't care. And it's beautiful that he doesn't care because he's in pursuit of the best possible everything. And it could be a song choice. It often is a radical sound design concept. And obviously, I won't even go into the fact that it very much extends to his just kind of savant level marketing and cultural instincts. I know all this because I've seen it, I've lived it, through Free Guy, through Atom Project, very much expecting and can't wait to extend it through Deadpool, which we are going to take to another level. And if we fail, just preemptively, we're totally blaming Hugh Jackman. So when people are like, oh, the third one wasn't as good. Yeah, because the first two didn't have Hugh. Okay, so, but if you love it the most, of course I'll run the victory lap. So just covering that in advance. But the thing about Ryan is that these instincts and this appetite, it extends beyond making movies. It extends to the 17 companies that he owns and runs. That's another thing that other people have covered in funnier ways. And it extends to the philanthropy that he and Blake are so committed to and really pursue and put their money and their time and their passions where their hearts are. I can't wrap this up without touching on that last piece, the Blake piece, because as Ryan himself will tell you, Blake is the superpower. Ryan is like, I had this idea when I was trying to get a nap in earlier because I was so stressed out about this speech. I'm not great on some superhero origin stories, but like Superman, right? When he left Krypton, he had that baby in the crystal thingy. He had certain gifts, certain innate abilities, but they didn't become superpowers till they mixed with Earth's atmosphere. And I was thinking about you two, and Blake is the atmosphere. Blake is Earth, and she's certainly his world. And one of the most beautiful things about you is that I don't think a day has gone by in the 4 years that we've been working together that he doesn't acknowledge that and express gratitude for that. And that speaks to the heart of this man, and that heart is in every day that I witness in their family life with these 3 daughters, and fingers crossed, maybe a 4th, but Ryan, also preemptively, if you don't join the highly exclusive 4 Daughters Club that I'm a founding member of, it's just because you're less of a man than me. And we will find love in our hearts for baby boy Reynolds. I promise you. But that's really all I have, guys. This is a creative force, and he's something more rare than a great artist. He's a good man. And we know this in this room, those of us who know him. This is a good dude, a really, really good person. And it doesn't always go that way. The talent is paired with goodness in that way. But it is in Ryan. And so it is not my privilege to speak last. This slot sucks. But I am the lucky son of a bitch who gets to present my friend and our colleague and this great artist and this great man with the richly deserved American Cinematheque Award. Ryan?
Oh boy. Anyone who knows me knows how much I love an evening devoted entirely to me. Jesus, following 17 killers. This is gonna be great. You know, I moved to Hollywood when I was 18. I was 18 years old. Considering the frontal lobe doesn't fully develop in most males until the age of 25, I can confidently say that show business was one of my primary caregivers. One could almost posit that show business is one of my parents. And may I say, you were a fucking horrendous parent. Dispensing highly conditional love based on earnings and physical appearance, while asking way too much of a fleeting and increasingly stressed boyish charm. Just god-awful parenting. I've spent countless hours with a therapist pointing to a crude sock puppet to illustrate where the bad parent hurt me. And by therapist, I mean Hugh Jackman. That's right, it just gets worse. I've never really taken myself too seriously, as many of you know, and it creates a pretty confounding paradox when I'm celebrated by a very serious awards show with prestigious company like this. Mr. Bloom, wherever you are, includes you. I was standing in this exact room 8 years ago when Jeff Bridges wrapped his arm around my neck. He looked around a room of executives, of movie stars, of producers, of titans, and he proclaimed, "This is our tribe, man!" And I remember that I rejected this at the time because we tend to push away the things that we know could hurt us or reject us. And since then, along with George Dewey and James Toney, I've built a company that I am unspeakably proud of, with people that I am unspeakably proud to know. Our core values are integrity and mischief, and I would have it no other way. When John Barrymore passed away, there's an old rumor that W.C. Fields and Errol Flynn stole his corpse from the morgue and took it out to party one last time. Now, I'm not comparing myself to any of these people. I'm just floating it out there that when I do finally close my eyes to this mortal dumb show, I hope to God I have a W.C. Fields and an Errol Flynn to treat my death with the respect it deserves. George and James, you know what to do. While I've been given the privilege to play in different fields and sandboxes, I'm mindful that I'm primarily known as a movie actor. And that is humbling, because movies, they bring people together in ways both figurative and literal. And that togetherness feeling is, more than anything else, is what I yearn for. It's what I yearn to create. whether it's sitting with my family watching TCM on a near nightly basis, or reading people's tweets about Deadpool or Free Guy. The act of bringing people together for a second, for a few minutes, or a few hours is a great contribution, especially as the world predictably conspires to divide us. There are so many people who have helped will me to this moment in time, helped will me to this stage. There's too many to mention and too many to thank. So much of what I do is for my daughters, James, Inez, and 3-year-old Betty, who couldn't be bothered to show up tonight. Coward. I get to work with my closest friends every single day. Sean Levy. This man, we're currently working on our 3rd film together. 4, if you count the one I wisely passed on. But most importantly, I get to spend my days working with my favorite collaborator of all, my wife, Blake. You are... you are the greatest ghostwriter in Hollywood history. You have literally authored me into this moment. And I know ultimately, and I don't want to get too romantic here, but I know ultimately that we're all just a bunch of screaming meat suits clinging to a rock hurtling through space. But if there's one thing I'm certain of, it's that none of us are in control of our destiny in any way, shape, or form. Blake is. And here I am, standing before you with this fancy and beautiful trophy, drenched in all of this privilege and luck and gratitude. And despite what I thought of Jeff Bridges' comment 8 years ago, I'm starting to suspect I may be part of a community. So thank you, American Cinematheque. Thank you to my friends. Thank you to my family. Thank you to the community of showbiz. This is my tribe, man.
That's our show for tonight. Good night.